Hey gamers, it's G from the corner, and I kind of wanted to do something a little, not really off the cuff, but more so like a bit impromptu. So, we've been talking a lot about Switch 2 on here, obviously, because big Nintendo channel, air quotes, big. And, that's the thing that's coming up that's most exciting. But there has been an interesting wrench that has been thrown in. One of the things that I have kind of been assuming just at the back of my mind is that Nintendo has everything under control. They are the industry, the market leader right now, at least in the console space, and know exactly what to do with this thing and have a perfect plan in place. They know they're going to sell this many Switch units, and they know when to drop off and start about the Switch 2. But Nintendo, something interesting has been happening. Nintendo has been falling well below their sales forecast. Now, I'm going to have to move over a little bit. I probably jumped in the view right now. Where was this? Notice commencing decision. I think this is it, right? This should be the part. Explanation of the material. So let's find, where's the forecast? So in this quarter, they made, wow, like almost 50% less in some cases. Well, net sales, 46%. Ooh, oh wow. Ignore that notification. Let's make sure those don't interrupt us anymore. Actually, whatever, this is a mess. Wow, though, yeah, that's a lot. That is quite a lot. Very interesting, because, again, Nintendo... I mean, now, here's the thing, that was already forecasted as well. Let's see. Yeah. So they were dropping a little bit. Now, where do we get into forecasting? I might have clicked the wrong thing. I hope not. Sales decreased by 58%, mainly due to the decrease from visual. Yeah, because there's no, like, other additional stuff. So people are... Okay, so yeah, they were counting Mario movie ticket sales and that as well, but there's been nothing like that. Gross profit, again, has also been down. But, again, you can't expect them to make... They put out one of the highest grossing movies of all time. You can't expect them to make up for that money on a year where they have less happening already, let alone like some external project that took a decade to make. Sorry. It took a decade to make. Now, where is I want to see that forecasting for the console sales. Again, it's just profit, like specifically comparing thing, but there we go. Okay, so the forecast for the dividend. I don't know much about financials, so we're about to see. Oh, there you go. So, this forecast was FY25 forecast. So the forecast was they were already predicting less, right? Software, they sold 17%. Their forecast was 17% less in the fiscal year, right? There are no changes to that fiscal forecast so they haven't changed the forecast in 3 months now. Obviously, earnings forecast or judgment based on information that was available, whatever. Okay. Business highlights, again, hardware, again, everything's kind of down right now, which, I mean, again, makes sense. If we look at this, which fiscal is this? This is fiscal year. This is the holiday season from last year, so obviously that's when they make all their money. But, like, compared to this time last year, there's a bit of a drop. Now, this time last year was the first financial report with, like, Tears of the Kingdom in it. So I totally get that. Like, 100% it makes sense. During the first quarter of the previous year, unit sales, both hardware and software, were extremely high for a first quarter when the Super Mario Bros. Movie energized our dedicated video game platform business, and the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was... Yeah, so they had a ridiculous first quarter. I guess that was where that comes from. Or no, that's from hardware sales specifically. But yeah, it seems like... I don't think we've gotten into forecast versus reality yet, which hasn't come up yet. I think I want to find this information. This is a very unprofessional corner video. Come on, where is it? Yeah, this is just their forecast. This is just like, announced games. Okay, we already know about those. Yeah, obviously. This game came out very good. I liked it. And then, MEO, and then other games, right? Notably, actually, let's talk about this real quick. This gap right here is one of the longest gaps Nintendo has had for first-party software. At least, well, not one of the longest, but like it's one of the longest for sure. But this is the earliest they've ever ended a holiday season, quote unquote. Like, this is they have nothing to release for this year after November 7th. which to me says one of two things. Now, hopefully this video goes up really soon and I don't look like an idiot saying this, but maybe there's a Pokemon Presents and something Pokemon is going to come because they always have something. Or not. Or in probably an easier, honestly, what I would say is more of a safer bet. They're planning to reveal Switch 2 after this game comes out, but they still want that holiday rush. So, we're going to drop this as early in the month as we can, and then maybe a week or two later, announce the new console, and then we go from there. That's what it could be. Let's see, example of an announced Nintendo product. Yep, here's your announced hardware. The Switch Lite Gold. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool Switch Lite. Again, yeah. But they didn't announce anything related to that. That would have been a smart thing to do. They didn't announce anything related to either of these. This has no... I don't know when this is dropping anymore. They announced it like... It's forever ago they announced it. Reference materials. Where is... I'm looking like a fool right now. Where are these forecasts? I completely missed the forecast. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, hardware sold... So they didn't have a forecast for this quarter. Or did they? That's the only thing they have a forecast for. They were forecasting hardware total and software total. It was 16 million and... Or no, sorry. 165 million and 13 million. Life to date. Or, yeah, sorry. 13 million. Yes. Oh my god, why am I... I'm tripping up right now. Ugh. And lifetime is 143 million, yep. Or is this like sales units? Yeah, sales units in the 10,000s, which is an odd way to measure it, but sure. Yeah. So, if I had to think about it... Like, they have barely made up any of this. In their first fiscal year, in their first quarter, now obviously this is a weaker quarter. I don't think it's the weakest. I would say like this quarter is probably weaker. Is this quarter? Because I guess their fiscal started... No, this is talking about like April to July. No, April to June, is it? April, May, yeah. April to June. And this would probably also be a pretty weak quarter. What was that squeaking noise? Very weird. But yeah, this would probably also be a pretty weak quarter, regardless of that. But, I don't... That's the thing, right? So that's 2 million. They sold 2 million out of 13 million. So they would, let's say they sell about the same next quarter. That's 4 million. Okay, so they somehow have to sell another, like, oh my god, another 9 million, which is more, again, they haven't even done half of it in the fiscal year. And you guys got to realize that if they're announcing Switch 2 in the first quarter, and by the end of this fiscal, let's say that announcement slips away into next year, they are not selling Switches next quarter, or in that last quarter of the fiscal year. Like, literally, even if it's announced in March, it's still the first quarter, which is typically not the time people spend a lot of money on things in general. I would expect this to be a more profitable quarter, if anything, than that. Oh, wait, no, actually, this quarter... Oh, no, that's quarter one of last fiscal year in comparison, which was like 4 million units. Because there was stuff going on. There was a lot going on. Zelda, and they sold Mario bundles. The only way they achieve this number is if there's a price cut, right? And part of me is thinking that maybe their plan has always been, okay, we have a forecast set. If we can't meet it, if it looks like we're not going to be able to meet it, then we'll just do a big price cut, which that could very well be what happens. Could very well be it. Who's revving up back there? You know what? Hope they're having a lot of fun. Let's drink some water real quick. Leave me parched. Oh my god. But yeah. It's an interesting number. Again, they haven't hit it. I'm sure there's a Q&A, but the Q&A has not come out yet. Maybe the Q&A will explain more. Then there's just a list of their upcoming releases. Again, this is like they have a game every month until November. Then they have Donkey Kong in January, and then these two are just 2025. And it's so weird. Like, are they going to market these alongside the Switch 2? I don't think that either of them. I think that neither of them really gets Switch 2 versions, or at the most, Prime gets like a cross-release. I think Nintendo will just be like, we're releasing Switch games, but you can play them on Switch 2. So they're gonna like market both at the same time. Like, I think that'll happen. But I don't know here. It's really weird, because again, they have to announce this thing by the end of March. And so there's a world where neither of these games come out end of March, right? Like, Legends ZA is up in the air again if this is before a potential Pokemon Presents, where I think that's really the chance they have to confirm that this is happening. This game is launching in the fiscal. Otherwise, it's going to be like I'm expecting later in 2025, although I kind of am already. because of some Pokemon TCG things. Like they announced there's some huge gimmicks leaking for that, and those are supposedly dropping in like the first few months of next year. And I mean, it doesn't really relate to ZA, but like I feel like they would give those gimmicks more time to simmer before introducing cards from ZA, because obviously they know when ZA, like Creatures has a plan. They know when to start releasing cards based on the stuff that's going to be in ZA. But I don't know, like usually that in Japan they come out like a month or two. I think like Legends Arceus literally came out a month after, or the cards for Legends Arceus came out a month after the game did, so it'll be something like that. It's odd. And if it's March, that says to me that Switch 2 isn't March. But we'll see, yeah. And that's about it here. That's about it from here. Is there anything else? Oh, that's not. Earnings release. Is this like just the chart? Is this just the big, yeah, this is just the big chart. Is there like any comparison? I don't think they put out a forecast for quarters specifically. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is what I'm waiting. This is what I was looking for. Regarding Nintendo Switch business, first, in this fiscal year, Paper Mario sold 1.7 million. Wow, that's like really good. You know, like again, 1.3 million. This is gonna be going for like a minute. I'm gonna close the window. This thing up off the floor. Okay, where were we? Yeah, so again, like for 1.76 million in the summer season, that's like really good. At least I think. I don't know, from what I imagine. Mario RPG, I remember when it came out, or at least that first quarter it was in, which was the holidays, sold barely like double that. Which, you know, I think of the holidays as like more like exponentially higher, significantly higher than like what you would get out of the or sales wise, what you would get out of like the summer season or the spring season. Like, you know, that's just my thought process. Maybe I'm way off base. What else do we have here? Million seller titles during this period reached 3. Hardware was 2 million. Software was 30 million. Hardware and software were sustainably driven in May 2023 by Tears of the Kingdom. That's what, like, they're basically like, okay, but like like last year was kind of crazy. We opened last fiscal year with ridiculous stuff that made a lot of money. So it like being lower is totally like, you know, makes sense. Consolidated financial position. Total assets increased by 2.91 to 29.1. And the forecast. There are no changes to the financial forecast for the fiscal year that was published in May 7th. For hardware, by continuing to convey the appeal of Nintendo Switch, we try to not only put one system in every home, but several in every home for every person. Another objective is to continually release new offerings. Yeah, again, like software, obviously. There's a lot of games, a lot of new games coming out for the rest of the year. So, like, man, it's crazy how people thought this was going to be a port remaster year, which the Switch has had plenty. Like, they've had years where most of the games have ended up being ports or remasters. This year, like, after Luigi's Mansion, it's just like all new stuff, which is honestly, that's all. We got one game which I liked, and the rest of them all seem super, super cool. But yeah, just money stuff. Okay, I think is there anything else? You know what? We're already here. Let's just check these out again. I think I saw this the other day when this went up. Again, hardware is now at 143 million. Like this is a lot, man. I think, like, again, only the DS has it beat Nintendo-wise, and then the PS2 has, like, 160 because Jim Ryan said they've had 50 million. Whatever, man. Let's go to software. Is that gonna come up? Oh, no. Oh, no, this is console. Top-selling titles. That's what we want to see. Yeah, so, again, this game's 62 million, 45 million. These numbers are just massive. I remember when Breath of the Wild was, like, the same number as Mario Odyssey. Apparently, it sold more this fiscal than Tears did, which is still also on the list. Holy cow, man. These, like, numbers are crazy to me. Like, again, like, just how many games Nintendo's pumped out. They've pumped out 69 titles. 69 first-party titles that have sold over 1 million units. Most of these guys, Sony does not pump out 69 titles. I heard something. 69 first-party titles, period. Like, what? It's crazy. It's crazy to me. But yeah, so what does this mean for the Switch 2? I don't know. You know, Nintendo's very stubborn, I've learned, growing up, following this stuff. And if they don't have a gun to their head, like they have to do the announcement, they will wait until the last second. I feel like if they really are desperate for more Switches to be sold, they'll finally hit the price cut button and make it like 200 US or something. But like get rid of their last base Switch models for like 200 US or something at the end of the year. But I don't even know if they want to do that because again, I feel like there's going to be a bit of a cross-gen period. Like I'm starting to think that like next year we get Switch 2, let's say we get Switch 2 in like March. I think we only really get like 3 major exclusives, like exclusives. Like we'll get Nintendo games every month, but like, you know, they don't really need to put like a Kirby spin-off or a Warriors game or like stuff like that. Like you'll get 3D Mario Kart, maybe like a Switch Sports sequel or something, and then maybe one other game as like exclusives, but then the rest I think could easily be like multiple consoles, you know? Like, I don't know. We'll see what they end up doing when the time comes. I mean, I think if I were them, I would do the announcement in November. Like that's my honest read. Like I think that the idea would be you do it before the holidays to get people to not buy Sony and Microsoft's hardware offerings, but I think there's a chance those are getting delayed to next year. So I'm not so sure if that even really matters anymore. If it does, cool, it matters. If not, then like whatever. But I don't know. It's a weird. This is a very weird conversation. I like if it was. Again, I would have hoped that the system came out this year, but they clearly had enough to push it out to next year. If it's March, I'd say reveal it in November. I'd say don't even do a trade. Just like make it a thing that people know about. But if you still want to sell your Switches, just don't talk too much about it. Like be like, here's the console, here's what it looks like, here's the name, and maybe give a release month or something, right? And then that's all you have to do. You don't have to show any games running on it. You don't even have to give like specs or something. Just be like, there was new hardware. Remember, like just so it's out there and known. Like obviously it's out there and known that they're making new hardware that will be revealed in the next like, oh my god, like what, 7 months now? We were already halfway done that fiscal year. Almost halfway done anyway. But like, yeah, something like that. Like it's like, okay, I get it. I get waiting. It makes sense, but I feel like there's like they gotta tiptoe that line perfectly, and I know they're trying to do it. I know they're trying, but whether or not they succeed is a completely different story. Again, I feel like the narrative has been that they have everything like 100% under control, but I'm not sure if that's the case anymore. I mean, again, these numbers are really low. We'll see what happens in the coming months. Again, they could easily just do a price cut, or they could start bundling aggressively. That'll probably be what ends up happening. I'm sure like their first order of business is to do aggressive bundles. Maybe they try and bundle Zelda with no, I don't think they'll do that. Maybe they bundle Link's Awakening actually with the Zelda console, like release versions of that for Black Friday. I don't know. That's what I would do. But they clearly have their work cut out for them. I'm excited to see Switch 2, but if Nintendo can hold off, they can hold off. Who am I to judge? They're the richest company in Japan. Like, I don't know what else to say here. Very interesting week. Not much real like news from Nintendo aside from this, and I think they're putting like one of the mystery dungeons on Switch Online. The next little bit should be interesting though. Again, September's approaching. We could get a direct. We could not get a direct. We could get I think we're getting a partner showcase. I still think that's what's happening, but if they stay like pretty silent for the rest of this month, I'll start to doubt that kinda. What I do expect though is I think a Pokemon Presents is in order for like the next week or two. They usually have one right before Worlds. I think like now, I'm probably just saying this because I want to see ZA, but like I really think that there's a world where that happens. And again, if they want another game to go in that weekend before Black Friday, like they always do, we'll see what happens. I've been rambling long enough. It's been like almost 20 minutes. Keep yourselves cornered for more of this, I guess. Oops, didn't mean to hit the fan. I'll see you guys on the next one.